What is up, guys? It's Sky, and it's time to start talking about these older Battlefield games, bf3 and bf4. Piloting is a lot of fun in those older games, in my opinion, and hopefully bf6 makes piloting fun again. Now, if you want to jump on bf3 or bf4, you have to know speed control. And without much further ado, we'll jump on this empty server on Silk Road. First things first, you want to go into your options. Go into gameplay and check your vehicle boost setting. Pretty much everyone sets this to hold button. So essentially you can tap your afterburners to control them better. The other alternative is press button, which means that you have to toggle them on and off, which is not good. If you're on PC, then this option is available to you on bf3 and bf4. If you're on console bf3, this option is not available to you. It's default to press button or toggle, and you can't change it there. But for bf4, set that to hold. And in the advanced options, you want to check your jet chase camera roll. Most people like it off. That's essentially the bf3 cam because the camera acts the way it did in bf3. If you set it on, the camera rolls with you, and we call that bf4 cam, because it was introduced in bf4. Alright. After you got that down, we'll jump into J20 and we'll fly around. Now, I've seen other tutorials on YouTube, and essentially, they tell you if you're turning horizontally, tap your brakes, tap, tap, tap. You even see those tutorials where, I'm tapping my brakes when I shoot, and that's all well and good. And then verticals, afterburner on the way up, brakes on the way down, afterburner on the way up, brakes on the way down. That's all well and good, but if you're first starting out in bf3 or bf4, that's not the most important thing to learn. The most important thing to learn is going in and out of your first person view and checking your speed. And you got to be able to do that whatever you're doing. It's got to be second nature. And the speed is displayed, if you don't know by now, it's to the left of the aiming reticle. Right now it's reading about 318, 310. Speed is a little bit harder in bf4. It's a lot more variable. bf3 is not quite as variable, but it's always in the same spot on your screen, so you gotta be able to see it in a split second, because obviously you want to use the third person view to have better awareness. So like if you're on a 60 frames per second monitor, you should be able to check your speed within like a frame or two. Because if you practice it, your eye knows where to look. On bf3 or bf4, a lot of times you're looking at the radar to see what your opponent's doing. But get used to that. Learn that. It's the most important thing. And then after that, I'd say you want to work on vertical loops. Afterburner going down, brake. Afterburner going up, you just tap it, and then brakes going down. You're always tapping your afterburners, but when you're hitting your brakes, you kind of tap them at first, but at the bottom, you might have to hold it a little bit. And then you practice verticals. Of course, you also have to practice horizontals, because horizontals are a little bit different. Horizontals, you're kind of tapping your brakes. I see speed failing. In my opinion, horizontal speed control is a lot harder. I end up checking it more. And even now I'm kind of speed failing a little bit. But you just kind of tap your brakes. Tap your brakes at a... maybe I'll do better if I don't shoot my gun. Kind of tap your brakes. You can probably hear it in the microphone. And Another thing to note is how to recover from speed fails. A lot of times you'll speed fail going up, and you have to hold your afterburners to get your speed back up. And going down, same thing. Just hold your afterburners a little bit, get back up to speed. And again, see how important it is to check it. That's actually the first thing you should learn, always checking your speed. And that's not really something that I see on a lot of speed control tutorials. So that's actually pretty much it. Obviously, it's really hard to, obviously in a public match, you just vertical loop, control your speed, and you're behind your opponent. But once you get in a dogfight server, it's a lot harder, because a lot of times, especially if you get someone on defense, they might keep switching up. So you gotta follow them, keep following them up, and same thing going down. You gotta keep following them going down. So it's not quite as easy as, it's not quite as systematic as it is if you're just doing loops. And of course, there's also a certain diagonal where, I think you saw it earlier. There's a certain diagonal where you don't have to do much. Like you just turn, and the gravity will naturally keep your speed at 313. But again, 313 is a number. I don't know if I mentioned it. 313 is a number that you want to keep. I think this guy in a scout chopper is trying to practice his scout choppering. Alrighty, well, I had to edit out the part where someone interrupted me. It's all good. I only have one more thing to talk about, and that's pitch down speed control. Pitch down speed control is different. Your jet loses speed very quickly when you're pitching down. So the speed is still 313, but you're mostly going to be using your afterburners. If you're going up, you want to hold them, and then going down, you can kind of keep 313 pretty easily. Hold your afterburners going up, and then horizontally you want to tap them. But my pitch down speed control is terrible. There's some members of the community that are extremely good at pitch down speed control. So, but pitch down is more useful on console bf4 because you can't change your FOV, and a lot of times you gotta make like last minute adjustments, because a lot of times there'll be angles that you weren't expecting due to the FOV. So that's how pitch down speed control works. It's different. I think that's it. Yeah. So this is kind of the beginning of my the re-emergence of Battlefield Flight School. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'm gonna start covering more topics, I guess. Hopefully I can start uploading on a decent regular schedule, but again, I work a lot, so I can't promise anything. I also want to start covering Ace Combat 7 because I've been getting into that game, and that game's a lot of fun, and I think Battlefield can learn a lot from it. So without further ado, thanks guys. I'll catch you in the next one.